Alright, let's talk bulk. So I woke up this morning at 176.5 pounds. But not much has changed. My weight is up 1 pound from the last time I talked to you guys. So I'm at 182 pounds now after a weekend of fun eating. I've never really been on a bulk or a real cut, I would say. I've kind of just done this whole gain-taining thing. So maybe it's time. Maybe to really see the results that I really want to see, I need to start what you guys would consider a bulk. You might remember me saying in a previous video, could it be that I'm actually making gains? Could that be? So I'm feeling pretty confident. My lifts are going up. My body weight is increasing as well because of the caloric surplus, which is what I wanted. And so it's a powerlifting style program. It's a DUP program, and I'm under the guidance of Garrett Blevins, and all of his information you can find at blessedcoaching.com. Getting some comments on I'm looking bigger. Well, thank you guys. I'm finally looking like I lift, perhaps.
I still work a job and do this, and y'all know what's stupid.
So I figured I'd talk to you beautiful people and give you an update on the bulk. I'm up to 187 pounds, the heaviest I have been, maybe, not ever, maybe, I don't know.
One eye open, 'cause I know they creeping.
And I hit it no problem. This is without a doubt the strongest that I have ever been. And it's just my opinion on what I feel a successful bulk is. And my criteria are gaining weight, gaining size, gaining strength, and also not getting so fat that you just don't even feel comfortable in your own skin, or you put on so much extra weight that's just unnecessary that you're gonna have to take off later, and they'll either keep it on forever, Vince G. But on YouTube, you know how this is. You've heard it time and time again. It's gonna be very slow, very controlled, probably to the point where you can't even tell any difference for the next year and a half. So obviously the one area I made some serious gains is my beard. I did pretty good there. What is up, guys? Thank you for clicking on the video. As you saw, I've been bulking now for what, 7 or 8 months, and it has gone extremely well. I kind of just want to take you guys through the process, show you guys what I have learned. And I should start by saying that even though I did start at 176 pounds, that was a pretty light weigh-in. I think realistically I was around 178 to 179. And then I woke up this morning at 188.5 pounds. So roughly 10 pounds in 7 or 8 months, which I think is a pretty decent rate. I think the highest I ended up getting at the end of the day was like 194 pounds or something like that after a food challenge. But I think 188 or 189 is where I am now. Now, I wish I could say all of that was muscle, but it definitely was not. I've gotten a little bit fluffy, but that's okay. Body composition is not my #1 goal, and I'm definitely willing to put on body fat if it means increasing strength, which is why I decided to go on the bulk in the first place. The final straw was when I did terrible at that mock meet, and I was like, you know what, I've had enough. I have spent so much time maintaining, and I was convinced I could gain strength that way, and I did, but it was just so slow, and I'm way too impatient for that. So I wanted to gain strength at a more rapid pace, so I decided to put on some more body weight, and that is the #1 thing I have learned. Putting on weight will help you get stronger. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It is the biggest factor that has helped me get stronger, in addition to some great programming from Garrett Blevins. So those combined really helped me throughout this powerlifting journey, if you want to call it that. So I have put on over 20 pounds to my squat, bench, and deadlift individually. So well over 60 pounds to my total. If you guys saw my mock meet, you would know that I was extremely pleased with how it ended up. And that is exactly why I decided to do this whole thing. So keep that in mind. I know that everyone wants to stay lean year round, but if you just pay the sacrifice up front, gain strength, and then worry about maintaining it when you start to either go into a maintenance phase or a caloric deficit. Another thing I've learned is that it's challenging to stay disciplined with your food on a bulk, which I know sounds crazy to some people because you're thinking, oh my gosh, you're just trying to gain weight. All you have to do is eat. And I'm not one to be like, oh my gosh, I can't eat any more food. I never, ever got to that point. But for me, it was just, sometimes I'm like, whoa, I'm trying to gain weight. I might as well just go eat everything in the kitchen. And you don't want to do that. You don't want to gain unnecessary fat because there are diminishing returns to your strength levels. So me at 190 pounds is probably just as strong as me at 200 pounds at this point in my life. And at 200 pounds, I would just be pretty fat, to be honest. So you really have to find that balance. And I definitely went YOLO some days. You guys saw that I did quite a few food challenges. I was eating all types of food, which is all fine, right? You need to enjoy life, but sometimes it was almost like I wanted to do that every single day. But you have to stay disciplined. You have to keep that end goal in mind, because eventually if you get to a body composition level that you're not comfortable with, you're gonna have to take all that weight off, and it's just kind of a waste of time. So what I'm trying to do is maximize my strength in the long term with maintaining a physique that I'm comfortable with. So it is a balancing act, but I think I did an okay job with that. I also found out that I don't necessarily feel my best when I'm at my strongest, which is kind of strange, right? But I'm definitely the strongest I've ever been right now at 188 or 189 pounds. But I kind of feel the best when I'm a little bit lighter, maybe like 184 to 185 pounds, which I'm not far away from, right? But I just feel kind of sluggish in a way, I guess. But again, I wanted to maximize my lifts, and that is how I did it. I found having a little bit of extra fat really helped me in the squat and the deadlift, because I was able to brace my core a little bit better against my belt, which is something that I've always struggled with. You know, let's go back to the food for a second. Everybody loves food. Now, obviously, I did not think this through very well, but I learned that it is not that serious. And obviously I've known that for a while, but just to reiterate, there are a lot of days I went over my macros. There are a lot of weeks I went over my macros. I had a lot of free days. I had a lot of days where I did not count, and everything was all good. Now, you guys could look at me and say, dude, you are a fat slob. But for me, I'm okay with where I'm at. So you have to find that level for you. But definitely, whether you're bulking or cutting, don't be so determined to hit a number that you're gonna give up the quality of your life. And the last big takeaway I have is just enjoy the process when you're in it. Try not to get too far ahead of yourself. I know it's hard, especially if you're impatient like myself. I remember being in the first week of the program at 179 pounds thinking, I am so far from my big goal of hitting a 500-pound deadlift. And then, 20 weeks later, I was there hitting it with no problem. So enjoy it, have fun. Remember that it is going to take time, and it is a process. It takes a lot of repetition. It takes a lot of monotonous activity, but at the end of the day, it will be all good if you just stick with it. And that's the biggest thing, consistency and repetition, and it will get you to where you want to be. So now here I am, 188 pounds, entering my first powerlifting meet in about a month. So what's next, right? What is next on the agenda? Well, some of you guys are gonna have a hard time believing this, and I've made the decision.
Ow!
Please give the video a like if you enjoyed it. That really does help me out a lot. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch the video. You could have been doing anything, and you chose to spend a few minutes with me. That's pretty awesome. I look forward to talking to you guys in the next one.